Welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for taking some time to chill with me today. So today I have a Middle Eastern fragrance haul. Most of these fragrances are going to be inspired by other fragrances. So if that's something that you're interested in, then just keep on watching. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Naya, and here on my channel, I love all things fragrance, and I sprinkle in some beauty here and there. So if that's your thing, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, become a member of my YouTube family. Also, like and share this video and hit that notification bell, guys, so that you don't miss anything. If you are one of my OG returning subscribers, I love you guys so very much. So let's jump right in. This first one, I'm not sure if it's inspired by something. I think this is just a newer release. This is Club de Nuit's Maleka. And I love that bottle. So pretty, right? So Maleka has notes of lychee, bergamot, pink pepper at the top, orris in the mid, and at the base we have praline, sandalwood, and ambroxan. And I will tell you, I haven't had a chance to wear Maleka yet, but I did spray her on the back of my hand, and she is very pretty. So love that sprayer on that too. Love that bottle. I think it's so pretty, right? Off the top, I will say, since I've had this, it is changing a little bit, right? Wow. So I'm getting that lychee is punching me in the face in a good way. I'm getting the bergamot. I'm getting sweet fruitiness. This, in my opinion, is just one of those scents that you put on when you want to smell bright, sweet, fruity, kind of in a casual way. I don't think that this is doing too much. I just think that this is a really, really pretty scent. Yeah, it is very sweet. The bergamot in here feels almost like it's candied. And then there's that praline at the base. So you're getting a lot of that sweetness from that praline. The bergamot is sweet. The lychee, however you want to pronounce it, is also very sweet in here. Just a bright, sweet, candied, fruity scent. Spring and summer, in my opinion. You wear your perfume whenever you want, but I feel like this screams spring and summer. I love this one. Definitely worth the smell if you can get a sample just to test it out. But if you're a blind buyer like me, I don't feel like you could go wrong with this, especially if you like something that's sweet. You definitely get the lychee, you get like a candied bergamot, you get that sweetness from the praline. This is nice, bright, sweet, easy reach, easy to wear. I think that this would be a perfect fruity, sweet addition to your collection. So Maleka by Club de Nuit. Love that one. So the next one that I have is going to be an inspiration for Mancera's Coco Vanille. This is Qaed Al Fursan Unlimited, and this is by Lattafa. Absolutely love that bottle. I think that it is gorgeous. So some of the notes in this one is going to be coconut at the top with some citrus and pineapple. That is what got me. And I'm going to tell you, I had Mancera's Coco Vanille in my collection a while ago, and I just wasn't reaching for it. So I decluttered it. I think I gave it to a family member, not because I didn't like it, but I felt like it was such a tropical vacation scent. And I just kind of felt like at that time, like, where can I wear this unless I'm going on vacation, right? But when I saw this, I said, let me get this back in my collection. Let me get this scent profile back in my collection and really just see if I'm going to reach for it and wear for it. And I love this. So back to the notes: coconut, citrus, and pineapple at the top. Then we have ylang, frangipani, and jasmine in the mid. And at the base, we have some vanilla, musk, sandalwood, and sweet notes. Guys, if you've smelled Coco Vanille by Mancera, then you already know what this one smells like, because in my opinion, from my recollection, it is spot on for that. It is sweet. You get the coconut, you get the ylang. Oh, this is such a tropical vibe. Like I said, it feels like you're on vacation. It's beautiful. There's also something in here that is giving me like a earthy touch to this. Earthy in a way, not like a patchouli, not like an oak moss or anything, but there's like a slight earthy touch in here, but it's still sweet. I love it. I love it. It does have like that sunscreen vibe, the same vibe that Mancera's had. So you're still going to kind of get that sunscreen vibe in here. And I think that's probably why I felt like, where can I wear this unless I'm on vacation? Like, who walks around smelling like sunscreen? But I love this scent. And I feel like this is perfect for summer days. I feel like a hot summer day, you can put this on. You're outside, you're hanging out, you're at the cookout, you're at the beach. That's the kind of vibe that this gives. You're outside, you know? It's a beautiful, bright summer day. You're outside, you're hanging out, you're by the water, you know? That type of vibe. But I absolutely love this. I'm so glad that I have this scent profile back in my collection, and will definitely pull this out on those hot summer days. So again, this is Qaed Al Fursan Unlimited by Lattafa. The next one that I have, guys, is going to be Junoon Oud, and this is by Al Haramain, and this is said to be inspired by vibrato. Now, I have never smelled vibrato, so I can't compare and say whether it smells like it or not. But this has some top notes of grapefruit and woody notes. In the middle, we have musk, amber, and jasmine. And then at the base, we have woody notes, palisander, rosewood, and patchouli. You know that I am a patchouli lover. So when I saw that this had patchouli and it had a palisander rosewood, which I've never heard of, I definitely wanted to give that a try. And then the grapefruit and then all the woody notes, I said, yes, let's test this out. So I've seen reviews on this one. I've seen people say that this is a beautiful unisex fragrance. And I did have a chance to wear this one, and I will say I really enjoy the opening on here. You really get like a woody grapefruit, and it's such a good balance. It's slightly sweet and slightly tart, but it's bright. But you definitely get that woodiness in the back. And this is good. To me, on my skin, the woodiness kind of dialed down a little bit in the middle, and I was able to pick up more of that jasmine and the amber. But at the end, that's when all that woodiness just came up, all the patchouli. And I love patchouli, but the patchouli and that woodiness in the base, it's what really turned this to a masculine leaning scent on my skin. And that's the only, sad part about it. I like a unisex fragrance, but I like it to lean slightly feminine. To me, this leans a little more on the masculine side for my experience. And it's a shame because I really enjoy that bright, sweet grapefruit note along with the woodiness. But yeah, the base just got a little too masculine for me. I feel like if I were to wear this, I would possibly have to sweeten this up with something else and kind of layer it so that that base doesn't get too masculine on my skin. But other than that, if you are a female who enjoys a slightly masculine scent, I would say Junoon Oud is a really nice, bright, sweet, grapefruit, woody scent. I feel like this would smell great on a man. Yeah, this would smell really nice and refreshing and woody on a man. Yeah, I enjoy this, but like I said, I will have to possibly layer this with something else in order to really enjoy the wearing experience. But again, Junoon Oud by Al Haramain, this is a good one. If you're into unisex fragrances. The next one that I have is going to be Fursan White by Qaed, and this one is supposed to be inspired by vanilla powder. And I was excited because vanilla, put vanilla in anything and I'm going to get it, right? And I've never smelled the original, but people were going on and on about this one, saying that it was very close to the original and that it smelled amazing. So I wanted to give it a try. So this one has top notes of jasmine and bergamot. In the mid, we have coconut, musk, and almond. And at the base, we have vanilla, cedarwood, and nutmeg. So all those notes looked, you know, interesting to me. And so I'm like, okay, let's give it a try. People were saying vanilla powder was really good and that this was the closest thing to it so far on the market. So I will say, when I initially sprayed this, I felt like this was a little masculine leaning. You get the sweetness there, but there's something about this, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it smells like it is unisex, leaning a little masculine in my opinion. And I did spray this on the back of my hand. I will say, since I've had this, I do detect a slight difference in this. So this may have to be one that will have to really sit in order for me to appreciate it. But yeah, it does have something in here that smells a touch masculine to me, and I don't know what it could possibly be. I think it might be that nutmeg. I think that nutmeg is doing it because I don't have a lot of fragrances that have nutmeg in it. I'm good with jasmine, bergamot, coconut, musk, almond, vanilla, and cedar, right? So, I mean, process of elimination. I'm gonna blame it on the nutmeg. But there's, yeah, I think it could be that. There's something in here that doesn't quite sit with the other notes yet, in my opinion. It kind of stands out by itself. And I do feel like this is one that's going to have to really sit in order for me to enjoy it. It's creamy. You get the vanilla. You get the sweetness. But then there's a touch, and I'm going to blame it on that nutmeg. There's a touch in here that makes it lean just a little masculine, in my opinion. I get the slight woodiness, but I'm good with the woodiness. It could be a combination of the woodiness with the nutmeg. Yeah, but actually smelling it too much is kind of making me a little queasy, if that makes sense. So I don't know. This one may be a dud for me. I'm going to let this one sit for like maybe a month or so. I've sprayed it out, so I'll probably take the cap off and really just let it sit for about a month and come back to it and see what I think. But right now, I'm going to say Fursan is a no for me right now. Yeah, that just needs to blend a little better to me, and it does lean just slightly masculine in my opinion. So we're going to let that one sit. The next one that I have is said to be inspired by Tom Ford's Rose Prick. So this is Picky Rose, and this is by Fragrance World. And so this one has notes of Bulgarian rose, patchouli, Szechuan pepper, turmeric, May rose, Turkish rose, and tonka bean. And so I have smelled the original in stores before, and I was a fan of it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty, but of course, you know, I didn't want to pay that money for a Tom Ford fragrance. And I feel like this one also needs to sit for a little bit. When I first got this, I sprayed it out and tested it on the back of my hand, and I said, this needs to come together a little more, and I still feel the same way. I can detect a slight difference, so I do feel like it's doing its magic, it's trying to come together, but you definitely get the rose, you get the Szechuan pepper here, and you get the patchouli. This is good. I like this. Would I wear this today? Lightly, because I do feel like this is a strong in your face type of fragrance. And I do feel like another 2 weeks or 3 weeks of maceration will really help it. But I do feel like it has the potential. I feel like it is a nice fragrance. You have to enjoy rose. It is a rose in your face, and that pepper is there, but it's not a pepper that's going to make you sneeze or anything like that. It's not a strong pepper, but it's there. And you have to love patchouli, and you know I'm a patchouli lover. So I could really see myself enjoying this within the next like 2 to 3 weeks. I feel like this would be a really, really pretty scent. Yeah, because I feel like it's trying to come together. I just feel like it needs to smooth out a little bit, if that makes any sense. I feel like that's what it is. It just needs to smooth out a little bit. And once it does that, I feel like she'll be good to go. Yeah, so I really like this Picky Rose by Fragrance World. The last one that I have, guys, is also inspired by a Tom Ford fragrance. It's inspired by Vanilla Sex. This is going to be Sensual Vanilla, and this is by Maison Alhambra. I love that bottle. I think that it is so cute, right? So the top notes on this is going to be bitter almond. In the middle, we have vanilla and floral notes. At the base, we have vanilla absolute, tonka bean, and sandalwood. And guys, I was so excited to try this one. So short story, I was in Sephora and I was smelling perfumes, and I went over to the Tom Ford section and I just smelled Vanilla Sex just from the bottle. It didn't spray it on the back of my hand, didn't spray it on a tester or anything like that. And I said, I really like this. So jumped on YouTube, found videos where people were saying, you know, this is the closest dupe or inspiration. And so I said, okay, let's go ahead and try this one. So I landed with Sensual Vanilla. And guys, it smells exactly like Tom Ford's Vanilla Sex, in my opinion. But I don't like this. And let me tell you why. I sprayed this on the back of my hand, and boy, you need to love bitter almond, because that bitter almond is driving this bus. And if you don't like bitter almond, then you are going to be SOL, just like I am. I went back into Sephora and I said, this can't be what I smelled in store. This can't be the Vanilla Sex. So I went into Sephora, sprayed Vanilla Sex on the back of my hand, and said, oh my goodness, this Sensual Vanilla is a dupe for it. You really have to enjoy that bitter almond. I feel like if I would have sprayed Vanilla Sex on my skin the first time when I was in store, I wouldn't have purchased this. Yeah, because that bitter almond, it's doing the most. I don't even want to spray this, so I'm just going to smell it from here. Now, smelling it from here, it's not that bad because you get all of that vanilla. You get all that sweetness and that goodness, right? But as soon as you spray this on your skin, honey, I'm going to spray it just for video's sake since, you know, we're here. But I'm really hoping that this one settles down and has a chance to macerate and do something a little different, because the bitter almond here takes me on a ride. So at first, it kind of gives me like a root beer vibe. And then after that, it goes away, and then you just get a beautiful vanilla sweet scent, right? But then moments later, you come back and that bitter almond almost smells like a barnyard oudie note to my nose. And then it goes back and forth like that. It plays a game on my skin, and I was tired of the ride, and I had to wash this off, because 1 minute I'm like, okay, I'm all right with this. It's giving like a sweet root beer vanilla type of vibe. And then the next minute I'm like, ooh, there go the barnyard, you know? So You have to enjoy bitter almond. It just goes back and forth with me, back and forth to a like and a hate, a like and a hate. I will say this, it could just be my nose and the way that I read a bitter almond note. It could just be my experience with it. But I will say, however your mind interprets a bitter almond note, you have to enjoy bitter almond because it is driving the bus with this one. The vanilla is there and it's present and you definitely get it and it's sweet and it's good. That's why I say it's a love-hate with this one with me, because I love that good vanilla here in the background. It's so good. But that bitter almond just plays a game on my skin and I just didn't have time for the game. So I had to wash it off. But I'm hoping with time, I'm hoping that, this one will sit and really work its magic. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, but we will see. But right now, Sensual Vanilla, it's a love-hate, unfortunately for me. But, like I said, we're going to give that one time to sit. And I hope it turns around to something that I absolutely love. But guys, that is going to do it for my Middle Eastern fragrance haul today. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel. Become a member of my YouTube family. Also like and share this video, guys. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you have any of these in your collection. Honestly, and let me know what you guys think. And until the next time, guys, bye.